You're still gonna have to take care of the kids. You're still gonna have to clean the house. You know what I mean? Like, you're still gonna have your social media and your social dramas and all that. But within that, and you're gonna have your trials. You're gonna have your storms. All that's gonna happen. You're gonna have bad weather. You're gonna have storms. You're gonna have distractions. You're gonna have bad health sometimes. You're gonna have financial problems sometimes. You're gonna have family problems sometimes. Mental health problems sometimes. These are all part of life. Islam came to teach us how to be close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala within all of those circumstances. It's not about leaving the world, but it's about being close to Allah inside the world. And that's what's very unique about Islam, by the way. That's what's very unique about Islam. If you study every other faith, every other spiritual path, it doesn't do that. It doesn't do that. It usually separates, right? Separates that we worship here, and we do our job here, and we get married here. It's all separate. But Islam doesn't separate. It's holistic. Even within our lives and our jobs can be a worship. Within our relationship with our husbands and our wife is a worship. Taking care of your children and your home, that can be a worship. Your job can be a worship. All of these things is part of worship. But the question is now, practically, how do we do that? How do we implement that practically? The number one way is by following the prescription. The 5 daily prayers is one of the most essential ways to do that. That's why the salah is so important. That's why our prayer is so important. Because there's no way that we can survive this life without salah. It's impossible. Salah is like spiritual oxygen. Exactly. It's the spiritual oxygen. What happens to a person if they stop breathing? They die. Thank you. Exactly. There's a lot of people who are spiritually dead. There's a lot of people who are spiritually dead. And the first cause of that is that they left their salah. Is that they left their prayer. It's the first thing we're taught when we're little, and it's the first thing we forget. Even though it's the most essential. It is actually as essential as oxygen. Can you imagine a person saying, you know what, I want to train for a marathon, and they're not breathing? Can you train for a marathon if you're not breathing? Can you be an Olympic athlete if you're not breathing? Absolutely not. You gotta breathe. You gotta breathe. Salah is your breathing. There is nothing that you can accomplish if you're not breathing spiritually. So you have to go back to this essential part of our spiritual livelihood, and that's salah. And the Prophet, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, told us to do it certain times of the day. Do you know why that is? It's because Allah knows what He's doing. I promise you, Allah knows what He's doing. So it's like Fajr. Here's the thing, I know it's crazy. It's a crazy concept. It's not just whenever we wake up. You feel me? It's not. It's actually a certain time. And why? Because Allah knows what He's doing. If a doctor told you you had to take a medicine at a specific time for it to work, you would follow that. If the doctor said, see this medicine, it won't work, and this medicine's keeping you alive, you'll take it on time. Right? Yes, you will. You will definitely. Because we care about our life. And we trust the doctor. We say, you know what? The doctor knows what they're saying. Allah knows what He's doing when He tells us that Dhuhr is at a certain time. Allah knows what He's doing when He says Asr is at a certain time, and Maghrib and Isha. So I promise you that Allah knows.